Welcome back to the channel. It is day 9 of the 30-day yoga challenge. Good for you for sticking it out. I am really pumped to be on this journey with you. Day 9, we have a little bit of a different yoga practice, coming back to our concept of building strength through yoga. And remember, our definition of building strength isn't to do these amazing feats of lifting something that's really, really heavy. It's about using our body for resistance. It's about using gravity, and it's about creating a sustainable model of coming in contact with your body and learning how to work the edges of what works for you. So I may invite you into some poses today that cause you to shake a little bit, that cause some burn in your muscles. Remember, pay attention to how much of a load is being put on your system. Take yourself there to the edge, but dial it back. We're not looking to exhaust ourselves in this yoga practice today. We're looking to build over 30 days strength through this practice. And remember, you can always return to these videos and do an extended yoga practice one day if you'd like, or you can always extend your 30-day practice and return to the videos. I'd be happy to hear about your journey in the comments below. And of course, make sure you're subscribed so that you get all these videos sent directly to you. In today's yoga practice, we're going to be gaining strength specifically through the shoulders and through the arms. So that's what we're going to be targeting, but we're of course going to balance the yoga posture out with forward folds, back folds. We're going to bring a lot of spinal health, mobility, flexibility, and movement into the postures as well. Let's go ahead and begin this practice on all fours. Now, coming into a tabletop posture, it's really important that we do this purposefully and that you set yourself up for a strong base for success in this practice. Stack the shoulders over top of the wrists. You want your fingers spread wide and planted down into the mat. Stacking your hips over top of the knees. We're going to be here for a while. If you're on a hard surface floor, you might want to try a yoga mat, or you might want to try a folded up towel or blanket underneath the knees to protect you. Even if you're on a yoga mat, it might still just be too hard on your knees. Remember, we're going for a sustainable model here, so why don't you go ahead and take the time to take care of you properly in this practice. I'm sure you're worth the investment. With the tops of the feet placed down onto the mat, you don't want your feet turned in too much or splayed out, so go ahead and line your feet up. Again, making sure that you're aligned with a nice flat spine, and just checking out your hands, checking out the knees, checking out the posture. Let's take a few breaths here to just be in this tabletop posture, feeling the stability of having your knees and hands flat on the ground. Also, just being thankful for the feet, noticing that the feet even play a role in this posture, even though they're passive and just pressing down into the ground. Beginning just with the hips, we're going to turn the pelvis in, lowering through the belly, dropping the belly down, and then finally lifting the head up on an inhale into our cow pose. And keeping the head and the spine exactly where it is, begin by tilting the pelvis in, then following through the spine, lifting up through the spine, and last dropping the head, coming into your cat pose. Check in with your hands, spreading through the fingers to protect the wrists. On your next exhale, starting just with the pelvis, following through the spine, dropping down, lowering the belly, let the belly hang low. Finally, lifting through the head, the gaze comes forward into our cow pose. Take 2 more rounds of this on your own, moving with your breath. When you find yourself at the end of your second round, come back to a flat, neutral spine. Again, shoulders stacked over top of wrists, hips over top of knees. spreading wide through the fingers. And let's begin by just peeling the right arm off the mat and reaching the arm forward. Maybe bringing your gaze past the right fingers. And see if you can stay strong through your core as your weight shifts into the left arm. And if it's accessible to you, with your right arm reaching forward, experiment with floating your left knee up and off the mat. And if you can do that, maybe even pressing through the left heel, pushing back. All right, coming back, placing the hand and the knee back on the mat, pressing yourself back into a child's pose. Bringing the buttocks down towards the heels, reaching the hands forward, dropping the head. If the head comes in contact with the floor, that's great. Maybe you can rest here. You may wish to also draw the arms back, parallel to the body. Maybe ball up your fists, rotate through the wrists a little. If you hear some cracks and pops, that's totally normal. It's a part of the practice. Having a sip of oxygen here. Let's bring your hands back forward, reaching forward, spreading through your fingers. Beginning to peel the body up, off the thighs, coming back into your tabletop posture. Shoulders over wrists, fingers spread wide, hips over knees, tops of feet flat on the ground. Inhale to reach the left hand forward. Finding some stability in this posture. And with the left hand reaching forward, reaching through the fingers, feeling the weight shift into the right arm, making sure your fingers are spread. If it's accessible to you, floating the right knee, peeling it up off the mat, off the floor, pressing through your right heel. Go ahead, allow yourself to have a breath here as you bring your gaze forward, past the left fingers. Noticing how your breath changes in your body. And when you're ready, gently come back down, placing the left hand on the mat, right knee back on the mat or on the ground, and push back into another child's pose, taking a moment to rest here. And if you find that you need to adjust your child's pose at all, widening through the knees to make it more accessible to you, that's fine. Maybe your child's pose, it's difficult for you to really press through your sit bones and to come into a resting posture. And so the best that you can do is to just sort of lay the trunk of your body kind of over your knees, over your legs, and allow your arms to go heavy and your head to go heavy to just find a moment to rest here. Whatever works for your body in this pose is perfectly ideal. It's what's perfect for this moment. Inhale to reach those hands forward, spread through the fingers, beginning to peel the body up, shifting the body weight forward, coming back into your tabletop position here. Let's play one more round with experimenting with our balance and arm strength. Let's go ahead and lift the right arm off the mat, reaching the right arm forward, spreading through the fingers. If it's accessible to you, just hovering the left knee off the mat, maybe pressing through the left heel. And see if you can find some stability here. And you might be thinking like, what do you mean stability, Tim? My right arm and my left leg are not on the ground. I'm balancing on one arm and one leg. This is not stable. Just see if you can find some length through the spine, find some length through the arm, see if there's a place where you can balance here. And bending at the right elbow and the left knee, bring them together underneath the body. Maybe the right elbow touches the left knee, maybe not. And then inhale, reach all the way back forward. Exhale to just pause here, just be in this moment. Inhale to reach, exhale to bend at the elbow and the knee, maybe they touch underneath the body. Inhale to reach all the way back forward. Exhale, hand comes back down onto the mat. Left knee comes back down onto the ground. Press back into a child's pose. Again, maybe balling the fingers, rotating through the wrists. Allow yourself a moment to breathe. Feel your breath moving in your body. When it's workable for you, inhale, reach those hands forward. Spread through the fingers, come back to your tabletop posture. Stacking shoulders over wrists, fingers spread wide, hips over knees, reaching that left hand forward. With an inhale, look forward past the left fingers, reaching, begin to peel the right knee off the mat, pressing back through the right heel. Find some length through the spine. And if you need a chair or a wall for balance, that is okay. Staying spread through those right fingers to protect the wrist. See if you can find some strength in this posture. Inhale to reach a little further. Exhale to bend at the left elbow and right knee. They come close together. Maybe they touch underneath your body. Inhale, reach all the way back forward. And exhale to just be here, soften in this posture. Inhale to reach forward a little more. Exhale to bend at the elbow, bend at the knee. Maybe they touch under the body. Inhale to reach all the way back forward. Exhale, come back down onto the mat. Press back down into your child's pose. Yeah, reach those hands forward, maybe balling the fingers, making fists, rotating through the wrists. Maybe the arms come parallel to the body. Have a breath here on purpose. Now this time, rather than coming back up into our tabletop posture, I'm going to invite you into your downward facing dog. So from here, with your hands reaching forward, spreading wide through the fingers, just as if you were trying again to protect your wrists, and this time tucking the toes. Really go slow. Take the full length of an inhale to begin to peel the body up off the thighs, lifting through the sit bones and pressing back through the buttocks, back through the sit bones. Reaching, having an equal amount of weight in the hands as in the feet. The heels can be up off the ground, and you may need to step your feet in a little bit in order to get some length through the spine. Maybe rotating through the arms so that the eyes of your elbows are facing forward, the creases in your elbows are pointed forward. And having a nice deep bend in the knees if it allows you to have a long spine. Just noticing the sensations of being in this downward facing dog and how they're different from child's pose, or how it's different from a tabletop posture. From this downward dog position, I'd like to invite you to tiptoe your feet forward until your feet are between your hands. And this should be similar to your standing forward fold. Let's go ahead and grab opposite elbows. And just allowing yourself to have a nice deep bend here. Allowing your upper body to just drape over the legs. Still, maybe bringing a bend to the knees here, knowing that that is perfectly useful. And on an inhale, placing the hands maybe on the shins or on the ground, maybe on a table or chair in front of you, lifting the gaze up halfway as you flatten through the spine. Exhale, fold all the way forward, all the way back down. And on your next inhale, maybe sweeping the arms wide to protect the spine, coming all the way up, stacking vertebrae upon vertebrae, bringing the arms up above the head. Exhale your hands down to heart center. To Anjali Mudra, hands full of energy. Just pausing here, noticing the sensations of breathing in your body. Inhale to sweep the arms wide up over the head. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. And now taking a nice deep bend into the knees, planting the hands with the fingers spread wide to protect the wrists, I'm going to invite you to step back. And this time, rather than stepping into, let's say, a downward dog, we're going to step into a plank so that the body is parallel to the ground with the spine nice and flat. shoulders stacked over top of your wrists, just like when we're in all fours in our table pose, but staying up on your toes. Now this might not be sustainable. So even if you're a super fit person and you have a very strong core and you can maintain a plank for a long time, I still want you to drop down onto your knees. So bend at the knees, drop the knees down. And notice how this is different, how it feels different than being up on your toes in plank. Whatever is accessible for you, if you can only maintain plank on your toes for a few seconds before you drop down to your knees, or if you go directly down onto your knees, or if you maintain plank up on your toes. I'd like to invite you to find a posture here, whether on your knees or on your toes, that works for you as we breathe together for 5 breaths. Taking the full inhale and exhale as 1. A second inhale and exhale as 2. A third inhale to maybe press through the crown of the head. See if you can keep your spine long. A fourth inhale to soften through the shoulders. Allow yourself to find some strength in this posture. Noticing where you're feeling any burning sensations, any heat in your body. And on a 5th inhale, 5th exhale, go ahead and bring a deep bend to the knees, press back into a child's pose. You just did 5 breaths of a plank posture. That's pretty cool. Go ahead and take a rest here. Notice how the breath moves through your body. See if you can feel it in your low back, in your chest. Notice the quality of your breath. If your breath is shallow and abated, deep and smooth. We're going to play one more time with some plank here. So I'm going to invite you to bring your hands forward, spread through the fingers, maybe coming up onto all fours, stacking the hips over the knees, shoulders over wrists, spreading wide through the fingers. And I'm going to invite you to press back through your feet, coming onto the tips of your toes into your plank posture. Or alternatively, if you can only maintain this for a few seconds, maybe dropping down to your knees. And now here, whether you're on your knees or on your tippy toes, inhale to bring the gaze forward, and exhale with your arms exactly where they are. Begin to hinge at the elbows, lowering your body towards the ground. And using your hands almost like you're pushing the chest away into a bit of a push-up, keeping the elbows tucked in tight into the body as you lower down, coming all the way flat onto the ground. Extending through the legs, keeping your arms exactly where they are. We'll bring in a little bit of a bend here. So with your body down flat on the ground, your hands at the sides of your body, underneath your shoulders, fingers spread. Maybe inhale to lift the head forward, looking forward. Tops of the feet are down flat on the ground. Exhale, place the right cheek down on the mat or down on the ground, resting here. Noticing what it feels like to be in your body in this posture. Pressing the hands into the mat, tops of the feet still down flat on the ground. Lifting the gaze, lifting the upper body ever so slightly, looking forward, tops of the feet still on the ground. The legs are nice and long. We're just lifting the upper body here, getting a little bit of a bend through the spine. Exhale this time, touch the left cheek down onto the ground as you soften and just relax here in this posture. Again, noticing what it feels like to be here in this pose, in this moment. When it feels right for you, pressing through the hands, bending through the knees, tucking the toes, pressing back into your downward facing dog. from your downward facing dog, making sure that your feet are about hips width apart. Toes pointed in, heels out. Remember, it's okay for the heels to be lifted up off the ground. Bringing a bend to the knees is better than having no bend in the knees at all generally, just to keep your spine nice and long. You may feel some sensations of stretching through the hamstrings, spreading wide through the fingers, rotating the arms so that the creases of the elbows face forward, letting the head go long. Taking 2 last breaths here in your downward facing dog before we make our way down onto our back. Whether stepping your feet forward or bending at the knees, let's come down onto your back. So laying down flat on your back, I'd like to invite you to bring a bend to your knees as you place the tops of your feet flat on the ground. And without the desire to step your heels in very close to the sit bones, I'd like to invite you to just draw your feet in ever so slightly. And you may wish to reach your hands forward and see if you can touch your heels, but it's not necessary. That might be too much of a bend in your knees and it may be uncomfortable. What we're looking to do here is just have the feet close enough to the body so that the feet can support the weight of beginning to lift the back off of the ground into our bridge pose. With the palms pointed down, go ahead and just lift your head off the mat ever so slightly, pressing through the crown of your head just to make sure that you're not going to be putting any pressure on your neck. Let's go ahead and end this practice with our last posture here of just inhaling, beginning to peel the body up off of the ground, lifting vertebrae by vertebrae, placing some weight into the heels, and then exhaling, dropping each vertebrae by vertebrae down, coming back down flat onto the mat. On your next inhale, as you begin to lift the pelvis and lift through the spine, you may wish to draw the arms in underneath you and perhaps the fingers become interlaced underneath the body. Or you may wish to just leave the arms where they're at, pressing down into the ground. Just play with what works for you in the body that you're in today. On an exhale, coming back down. Again, on an inhale, lifting from the pelvis first, then lifting the spine up off of the ground. Perhaps the hands come underneath the body, interlacing the fingers. Staying here for a moment, just really allowing some weight to be in the heels. And one last time, let's exhale, coming all the way down. You need to de-interlace those fingers, allowing your spine to come flat back down onto the mat. Press out through your feet into our final relaxation pose of Shavasana. Just letting the legs go long, the arms beside the body, palms facing up, feet splayed out. Taking a breath here, noticing what it's like to be in this moment at the end of this practice for our day 9 yoga, building strength through the shoulders and arms. Thank you so much for being on this 30-day journey with me and having me be a companion to you. This is really cool to be a part of this journey. The light in me acknowledges and bows to the light in you. Thank you so much for your practice today. I hope you enjoyed this challenge for building strength through the arms and shoulders. I cannot wait to show you the practice that we have for you tomorrow for day 10. All right, make sure that you're subscribed and share this with people in your world because you never know who this is going to benefit. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.